What's up, guys? Brian back from the PT channel here to talk about some Walking Dead episodes 14 and 15, season 6, Twice as Far and East. Talk about some spoilers, some reviews, some previews, some promos, some predictions, what we got on there too. Let's get to it. So, episode 14, Twice as Far. Did you pick up the fact that they were showing you time change, things they were doing, the monotony of what they were going through? That's what it showed with that. You had Daryl looking at the freaking army guy here, so you knew Dwight was going to come back into the fray. He did, of course. He said Carol, where they're smoking a million cigarettes and smoking more and showing that, smoking more. Her and the rosary beads on there too. She actually drops them in the next episode on there. Thought the jail cell looked great on there too. Going to be holding a major character later on. Carol and Daryl talking it out here about really, building forward on there, going forward in life. You can't hold back for what you did. You are what you are. You can't do that. Carol and Daryl have a little difference of opinion with things there too. They enjoy a smoke together, of course. Too much smoking on this damn show. But ultimately, Carol is basically a troubled person on there too. And Daryl really feels that he should have killed Dwight. He has a chance later on in the episode, but, that doesn't happen. But Carol basically later on in the episode and next episode says that someone's going to always take your stuff, and she doesn't want to live in this world with that anymore, so she ends up leaving actually Alexandria. So we'll see how that goes next episode. We thought it was a great thing with Eugene and Abraham. Eugene was kind of getting full of himself with everything because he took out a couple walkers and now he's a badass. He doesn't need Abraham anymore. He's out there, but you're going to see that you're going to need Abraham. You're going to need your allies. You're going to need your friends and your family there. You're going to need to be part of Abraham's army. You can't be on your own just yet, and this Walker's got to prove the point, but kind of caused a problem here later in the episode. But I thought it was pretty great with the iron helmet there too, and the machete just bounced right off. It was pretty cool. You had Daryl, Denise, and Rosita to go get some medicine, and Rosita is looking in the pharmacy, and then she's looking around. She sees a bunch of stuff, and then Denise is sitting there, and she can't really handle anything. But this Walker and that other little baby Walker in the pool of blood, is pretty crazy and freaked her out. Really, Denise was trying to prove to herself that she can pull her own weight and she can do things for the group. It was a great idea with the medicine. It worked out, and it'll save Eugene's life later on in the episode too. But she tried to get the cooler in there, and the Walker kind of overran her a little bit. You had Daryl and Rosita going after to help her. She said she can do it. That was the whole underlying thing, is that she can do it. She doesn't need any help. She wants to try to, live in this world and work on there and pull her own weight and show that she can do it, and show it to herself, really, not anyone but herself. She kind of does. She's got the soda and the pop, whatever you call it, in her hand there. It was kind of sweet justice for it too, for hopefully to give to Tara when she got back, if she gets back. But remember this whole sequence in the previous episodes, and she was really saying, are you that stupid? This is what I'm doing this for. I'm doing it to prove to myself that I can actually handle and I can do things, and end up that she could, and we were really starting to like her. And that's what The Walking Dead does. Once you start to like somebody, stuff goes there, and boom, you're going to be gone. And that's what we saw. So it was pretty awesome to see this sequence unfold. It came out of nowhere. If you weren't expecting Denise to die, it really shocked you. And it was pretty awesome that they actually went through the eye, just like the Abraham thing in the comics. But Abraham is safe. They changed a little bit here and there. That's what the showrunners and the producers and the writers are doing. They maybe wanted to keep Abraham alive a little bit longer. Maybe they regret killing him in the comics, so they're keeping him alive, which is great. Denise gets the arrow through the eye, which I thought they did perfectly on there. Ultimately, they kept it straight to the comics. They just altered it who it was. So they like to do that in the show. Daryl's just talking with her. Then boom, the arrow goes in there. And I thought it was great, portrayal, and you didn't even think it was a fake arrow. I thought it was done great. It's a great picture of Rosita and Daryl's face, seeing the arrow in there too. And then the great thing is that she was still continuing her thought and still talking for a couple seconds before she passed out and died. I thought it was pretty crazy that was, what happened, but that can happen. The brain can still function for a couple seconds afterwards. And then Daryl got his guns up, and Rosita, they get to see who it was, and you're like, for a second there, you're like, who is this? Who shot, Denise with the arrow? Who had, a crossbow on? There's only one guy who had the crossbow. And the spoilers, we already knew that it was going to be Dwight, but we thought they did a great job here. It was really a slower episode with action until this whole sequence here, really with Dwight and the Saviors and Eugene and everything too, with the firefight. but overall we thought it was a great portrayal of the comics. The little sequence here, there was more than the 3 guys behind Dwight, but Dwight's kind of that asshole that's going to be a pain in Daryl's side for a long time coming. Someone's got to die, either Daryl or Dwight, and I don't know what's going to happen with this, but Dwight's kind of a pain in the ass with with the whole thing in there. So going forward, we'll see what happens if he lives or he doesn't, or he goes forward, because I know in the comics he does. So he's a big character with that. I can just imagine what Daryl is thinking right here, like, what the fuck, this guy's still alive and always a pain in my ass. Eugene, which is hilarious. Josh McDermott did a great job he's a comedian on Talking Dead, but here we thought he did a great job of buying time and saving his own ass. And you didn't know what he was trying to do with this whole sequence of it, but Daryl and Rosita were basically stuck. How are they going to get out of this? But, freaking Dwight's like, you're going to take us in there. So Dwight, they know Alexandria exists. Yeah, I picked that up too, where he's saying, we're going to get in there. We're going to go and talk and get in there and take whatever we want, take whoever we want, to do whatever. The whole barrels thing, was Eugene actually trying to kill Abraham? Was he not? Was he just biding his time? Hopefully, I would like to think that he's just biding his time to look for an opening to get out of this situation, because they're basically outnumbered, outgunned, out everything on there. And yeah, the whole sequence here where Eugene was just looking for his moment to get in there, and then he's gonna bite some balls. It was ridiculous on there, but that's straight out the comics. That's the thing that happens in the comics with actually Eugene and Dwight. So they did it pretty good. It's a different little scenery and scenario, but ultimately it's the same thing there too. And there it is. The Dwight and Eugene friggin' ball bite there too, and it lasted a little bit too. There's a couple of different sequences where he's holding on to those nuts. It was pretty crazy. You had Rosita with the gunfire, and she helped. She saved Abraham a couple of times. She is part of Abraham's army. They broke up, but they're going to help each other out on there. I would think so. They're going to keep each other around to survive. They've been through a lot, so I can't see them just letting someone die, especially by these outsiders like that. Abraham stepped up, saved Eugene and the boys there, and Daryl and Rosita. He's still on those balls there too. This is a whole other sequence on there where he's still on there. He finally gets him off, and he'd be bleeding profusely if he actually bit his freaking penis there. It'd be pretty terrible. But the gunfire was here too, and it's a good sequence from Daryl's perspective behind the car with the gunfire, and you see the two where the bullets are flying everywhere. We thought it was a good gunfire on there as well. You had Eugene and Dwight laying there. I didn't think did he take out the walker? Was he going after Dwight? Should he let have bit Dwight? But he had to probably take out there because he didn't know if he was going to get Eugene or Dwight. Dwight gets it with this whole crappy with the walker and whatever. Of course, you have Eugene hiding there, cowering behind there just to protect himself, and Dwight was actually going for the crossbow here. Rosita shot there down. He really should have shot and killed him, or wounded him at least, or anything, but he was going after the crossbow. But the crossbow survived. We got Daryl with his crossbow back. It's been about 8 episodes that Daryl has been without his crossbow, but Dwight gets away, of course. That's what happens with all the villains, the bad guys, the antagonists, whatever. So he gets away. Daryl's going to go after him. Dwight's going to be back in the fray. He's going to be a big character to go against the group and actually be a pain in the ass with Daryl and the group. But so there's a track, there's a trail, there's something in there too, and I'm sure that Daryl's going to eventually go after them there too. He's reunited with his crossbow, which is kind of cool to see. I know that was the big thing. I would like to see him keep that crossbow for a while, keep his life, hopefully after the finale. But he's going after him, but he turns back, and Rosita yells at him to go help out with Eugene and Abraham to help carry back Eugene to help out. And that's what they decide to do, to go help him rush him back. And the medication that Denise helped, rest in peace Denise, just like when we started to like you get the arrow through the head. And Morgan is looking after with the whole Carol thing. He has to go after her. There's no way. The promo for episode 15, season 6 is called East, is the episode name. Basically, there's a couple different promos, but this one, it's 5:37 in the morning there, and Roshone is in bed to get the apple, bite the apple. They put a little, cute little flirting, whatever. Rick's trying to get some, but Basically, Michonne shuts him down, some pillow talk, whatever, but Michonne shuts him down, saying that Maggie needs our help. I'm not trying to get, and Maggie has a pattern with it, but we're not going to disrupt Maggie. So Maggie's becoming a leader, helping out. You see that more and more, and kind of gets shut down. You see Glenn, Maggie, and Michonne there going forward. They're doing some whatever supplies, but then they see probably Daryl leaving. Tobin got the note from Carol saying, I'm sorry, but I need to leave. I don't want to do this anymore, blah, blah, blah. Rick says that's bullshit. We got to go get her. This is crap. He says no one else leaves. Do all that. But then Daryl goes after. Is Daryl going after Dwight or Carol? We don't know, but we'll find out in the episode. Episode 15 looks to be great. So either way, Rosita sees Daryl go out and probably feels bad for that. So it looks like it'd be Rosita, Glenn, and Michonne going after Daryl. Rosita in the woods somewhere going after that. Rosita seems to be, I think in the spoilers, she gets up with Glenn and Michonne, but Michonne and Glenn seem to be in the spoilers to get captured, and Rosita meets up with Daryl. So we'll see what happens there, because the finale is going to be a bunch of saviors and the reveal of Negan. So we're going to have to be captured with that. Ultimately, see who gets hit by Lucille. Glenn saying he's on his own, blah, blah, blah. Daryl has to be going after Dwight if he's in the woods like that. I would seem to think that has to be his main focus. You got Sasha in the sharpshooter spot there too, on patrol. That's kind of her new role. Carl, it's the first time he's probably picked up the gun since he's been shot in the eye, so he looks a little scared with that gun. He's not sure about it. And Glenn and Michonne talking in the woods. I think this is probably before they get captured or right before they get captured, but we'll see. Who knows? Potential spoilers, we don't know. Morgan has to be going after Carol. He looks like to be in the same outfit as the promo. So like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, guys. Thanks for watching. What'd you think of the episode? And stay tuned, guys.